Hello, what is up? Welcome to the Shared Screens E3 93 recap. Whatever we're going to call this, that's what we're going with. Not
Gamer
E3.
Haven.
Gamer Haven, according to Brett. No one else agrees, but that's okay. It's basically just the summer of gaming, the month of June. We're in June right now, July. I always get those mixed up in my head.
June. Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the month of June, basically everything that was announced the month of June. Joining me as part of Shared Screens, we have Alec Bobco, Brett, Jim Tasty, and Josh. How we doing? Some other Josh.
Doing well. How y'all doing?
Doing
Alec,
good.
how you doing? Okay, Brett, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, Gamer Haven is
It's
what's
a
happening right
great
now.
time to be a gamer.
The
It is a great
gaming
time to be a gamer.
oasis.
Gaming Oasis. I don't think anyone claims that besides Brett, but here we go. Okay, so yeah, we're recapping 93, Summer of Gaming. What at the top I want to say I don't like how every company, every developer or whatever publisher thinks they need to have a conference. Like leading up to this, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. And now I'm like, there's too many. I don't want this to be like this anymore. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know if it's because I learned to tune out certain things or if just other, I don't even know if a lot of these people did showcases, but last year there were so many where it was like our 3-hour showcase, tune in, and you're like, okay, it must be something big, and then it's like nothing interesting at all for anybody. Whereas this one,
Koch Media or however you pronounce
Coke Media, yeah,
Koch.
and like,
Yeah.
that like I it could be both. Maybe I just tuned out to like some of the less successful ones because all the ones that I watched, I generally had a lot of good things to say about. So, yeah, I think this year was definitely better on that front.
Yeah, I agree. There wasn't like a whole lot of we didn't have Square because Square basically sold off all their IP. They just did the one like Final Fantasy thing. Capcom, they had a disaster last year. It was better this year. Hopefully though,
Not by much though.
Not by much though. I mean, like
It was hard to be
Resident Evil
worse.
fans
So
were
had a low bar.
exactly. When the bar's set that low and they're like showing some actual in-game footage of RE4 and like announcing
True.
RE8 DLC and stuff like that, like it already is a step above like last year for sure. And hopefully they are the next company to get bought out by Sony because they're buddies already.
Buddy.
And so that all can just hopefully in the future get rolled into State of Play. I'm hoping.
Yeah. I think there was just too many showcases. I understand what you're getting at, Brett and Josh, where like the showcases themselves felt better paced. They felt like they had more heavy hitters, like that kind of stuff. Like the showcases
We just didn't
themselves,
cover so many epic shows
Yeah.
that we knew already, like not to
they felt
rehash.
structured better. I just don't like how there's literally like 20 of them. Like I'm not exaggerating the number. There were some that I didn't even know were happening. And like you brought up like the year, was it last year you said that with like Koch Media or whatever? I remember there being like 9 or 10 maybe, and that felt like a lot, but now it's like literally nearing 20 and I'm like, all right. Like I think
Like, there
maybe they
was-
need to die it down a bit.
There was like what 5 of them just that Saturday alone.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah. And then like Netflix Geeked, like was that all about gaming or was that literally just anything
Some
gaming
of
related,
it-
anything
like a gaming
Netflix.
show?
Some of it was like Dragon Age is going to do a show on Netflix, and so that's a gaming property primarily, and now they're doing a show. So it was
But they
stuff like
announced
that
one
too.
game, right?
Yeah, it's
At
like
the end,
just
it was
a
like,
game that's not. It's not like a Netflix gaming thing, but it's actually a game developed by Netflix.
Yeah, which is still really weird to me. Like I'm just not ready for that. I haven't like swallowed that pill yet.
They're going to
But yeah.
cancel it 60% through the development and put it out.
But yeah, so just round robin real quick. What was everyone's favorite showcase? Which one they felt won, quote unquote? Which I don't really like that terminology, but
Right.
Josh, I'll start with you. Which conference do you think like was the best out of the bunch?
I think personally State of Play, just in terms of reveals that actually got me hyped. The pacing and being like, all right, here's games, here's our VR section, here's a lot of the third party stuff. They also came out beforehand and said that this was focusing primarily on third parties. Like they got in front of it and set expectations, which one other developer or publisher didn't really do until 15 minutes into their showcase, and is like, oof. Talk about Xbox, of course, there, but yeah, I gotta go PlayStation for me personally.
I'll piggyback off that because as someone who that specific showcase didn't really do a lot for me personally for like my gaming tastes.
Hmm.
I have to admit that there's at least an argument for that being the best state of play we've ever seen. Like
Oh
in
yeah.
It's up
terms
there
of
for sure.
heavy
Yeah.
hitter titles, just because they didn't speak to me does not mean that
Hmm.
that quality of a showcase, structure, and the titles shown weren't just banger after banger after banger.
Right.
Like when they
Mhm.
opened with what we all thought was The Last of Us, because with that
Right.
title card, which again I stand
Well,
by, it. They knew
and the
exactly
music,
what they were doing.
the music too
Yeah.
sounded
Yeah.
exactly
The
like The
Spanish
Last of Us.
guitar.
Very
Yeah.
deliberate, you motherfuckers.
In our reaction, I'm like, that's my man Gustavo, because
Yep.
he like composer for the first one. Like
I
he
didn't even notice that, but yeah.
and yeah,
It
like
sounded
and the
exactly like
distinct
The Last of Us
art.
theme.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Oh
just
no,
the
I
like
noticed
green
that. I meant like I
foliage.
didn't notice Josh was like, "That's my man." Like I don't remember
Yeah,
that happening,
Mhm.
but
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would love to be like a fly on the wall in the editing room, because I guarantee you
Oh
there's
yeah.
someone at Sony and Capcom
someone
that's
had the
like,
idea. They're like, "Hey, what if we do this?"
this is gonna get them. But
And they went,
this is gonna get them for something they're like lukewarm on, but something they're hot on. Like it's a trade and swap for something even better than Last of Us remake,
right.
RE4 remake. Yeah.
Okay. Alec, what was your favorite presentation? If it's state of play, we'll carry on with that
I
that
was
train.
just gonna say, game announcement wise, I have to go state of play, just because,
Mhm.
like, I know our Resident Evil isn't necessarily my thing, but seeing RE4, a lot of people say one of the greatest games of all time, getting that remade is incredible. Getting
Oh
some
yeah.
news on PSVR 2 was awesome. Call of the Mountain looked great. Got
Mhm.
Spider-Man coming to PC. That is
That's crazy.
huge.
Mhm.
But I have to
Oh, you
say,
called it.
also surprise Rollerdrome. That game looks awesome. Can't wait for that.
That game,
It does
yeah,
look great.
absolutely.
Love the aesthetic.
But I will say probably the showcase I was most entertained by, Devolvers. Like,
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
watch
they
that
came out.
one. I
oh,
should
it's
have.
so good. You have to
I
watch it.
know.
It is
I
so
know.
good.
They always put on a theatrical thing. I don't
Like,
know.
I think only like 4 or 5 games were announced there. I mean, they're great
Yeah.
games too. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
entertainment wise, it was a great showcase. So
They
I'll say that
showed Cult of the Lamb there, right? Right? That was
Cult
one
of the
game they showed.
Lamb, Angerfoot, which I still have to play
Angerfoot,
both
yeah.
of those
Yeah.
demos.
Mhm.
Totally.
But yeah,
Cool. All right, Brett, what do you think?
For me, I think my favorite one to watch, was and just in terms of the announcements, was the Xbox showcase. Um, I think the amount of announcements we got was awesome. We got like 40 games or something that was talked about. You had a battle royale coming to Xbox, so I'm all about that. You had a couple Obsidian RPGs coming. You had like Persona coming to Xbox for the first time. That's really really big, and other platforms as
Alec.
well.
you can see the moment
Um,
I spoiled it for everybody.
yeah,
You son of a I didn't look at it, but I think Bo did. And Bo just went, "Son of a," like he's like, "God damn it,
Yeah.
Alec."
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, I saw that too.
I
Don't
did
worry
it. I was
about
like, "Oh." And I was like about to go look, and then he said that. And I was like, "Oh, no."
Because I didn't
you
realize
had
you guys were behind the
We
screen.
were a little late.
Because I was moving that
um,
day, but I happened to catch a little bit of it before.
yeah, you had Blizzard doing their thing, which obviously a lot of their titles are going to
Mhm.
be highly anticipated. You had the Starfield deep dive, which, I mean, every time a Bethesda game comes out, I like get knee deep into it. So, first time since
Thank-
Fallout 4 that the main team is putting out a game. So this is something
It's a-
special
It's a big old game, let me tell you.
to pay attention to. And then yeah, like getting Hideo Kojima to make an Xbox game, assuming it's Xbox
Exclusive.
exclusive PC.
Mhm.
That's obviously a big deal as well, just because of his
His
30
pedigree.
year history with Sony. So
Right.
Mhm.
big stuff. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. No one felt that the Xbox Bethesda showcase was lacking, or was it just because the state of play was fire?
I kind of did. Well, like when they announced it, they didn't like they just kind of said, "Hey, showcase this date, like come along."
Yep.
And they didn't really set out expectations until 15 minutes into the show after they unshowed Redfall and Hollow Knight. Then they're like, "Hey, everything you're about to see is coming out within the next 12 months." So that right there, that both simultaneously, okay, that got me excited because like we're about what we're gonna see, we're gonna play soon, but also that means no Indiana Jones, no potential of Doom 3, Wolfenstein 3,
Yeah, but what?
Avowed, like all these other bigger games that we know they're working on. What
Fable.
is it? Fable, Perfect Dark, like all these games, literally after just letting people's expectations run wild, just got slashed within the first 15 minutes, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, none of this is coming. But then they're like, all right, well, here's Squanch Games with High on Life. I'm like, this is my standout. This is the best thing they showed in that entire showcase, and
Did
I
you
was
see
not expecting that.
the news article that came out recently today on
No.
Twitter? It said that
Mm.
the Squanch Games High on Life in another title. I don't remember what it was, but it was supposed to be a Stadia like title. And because
Oh,
Stadia
Thank
just
Yeah,
God.
the
it's shit
Stadia
the
news.
bed. It was that
Yeah.
and something else. I don't remember what it was, but yeah,
Thank
two of the
God.
games that were at Xbox Bethesda.
Bro, imagine
Microsoft's just like,
gaming.
okay,
Imagine playing a game on Stadia, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't.
Thank God.
I can't. I don't know what I mean.
Squanch
What is that?
Squanch Games just needs to come out and just make games for all parties. Like Trover Saves the
mm,
Universe was
it's so
initially
good.
PlayStation VR, but you can play it without the VR. And once I figured that out, like I was like, I have to play this. I wish I could play Accounting Plus without the VR. Play Trover Saves the Universe,
Yes,
please.
it's so good.
That's my desperate plea. But yeah, I'm excited to play High on Life on Game Pass, and then yeah, quite a bit of the other games were pretty exciting. Starfield really didn't do it for me. If anything, it sold me less on the game just by like how massive it is, because I'm so like done with all these bloated 500 plus hours, and they're like, yeah, there's 1,000 planets and stuff to explore, and it's like, all
Cool.
right, that's a little worrisome. You can make a ship, but based on Bethesda's like pedigree, we know that's not going to work at launch. And like,
What do
Bo
you
and I were
mean?
joking about it like during the reaction, but that game's like not going to work till like 2025. Like it may release next year before June, but
Mhm.
that's not
Man,
going to be working for
I'm
like
just
quite some
imagining.
time.
It just hit my head, but like PC modders are gonna have a hell of a time with Starfield and like all the modding the pieces of the ship and all that,
PC modders make better content than the primary
right?
Bethesda team. Like looking at Fallout London and stuff like that. Like I just Bethesda needs to make some major changes to that primary team. But yeah, modders basically do the majority of the work for Bethesda at this point.
I'm in a weird place with Starfield because everyone knows I'm a Bethesda freak. Like I Fallout's my game of the year. I always get indebted.
No,
I
really.
get really in there. Fallout, the release of Fallout 4, I stand by, was like one of the happiest moments of my life. The leading up to that, the way
Mhm.
that launched, just leading up to the day it
Hmm.
launched, it was
Yeah.
perfect. And I'm not talking about the quality of at launch. I'm saying the way they announced it up to when it
Yep.
actually came out. Like it was just mwah, chef's kiss. I
Yeah.
loved that. I am not a space person, so I love Bethesda and I'm totally gonna play Starfield, but it's just like I'm not seeing a lot here that speaks to me personally. I'll give
Mhm.
it a go. Like I remember like they showed all like the personalities or whatever, your backstory that you can pick at the beginning. And it was like a
Yeah.
long ass list. Like I'm used to like, I don't know, like what, like 15
3.
Just
tops?
three.
Tops?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I played some that they have like a handful and there's like a wheel there, but like not like pages upon pages of these stories
Hmm.
to read, which again
Yeah.
is kind of like, oof, I don't know if I needed that, but also it's like, okay, cool. Like I don't know.
Mhm.
I get mixed messages from this game, but I'm totally gonna give it a go
Same.
and we'll see how it
It's on
goes,
Game
I guess.
Pass. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
even more reason to like, okay, we'll give it a try. I do have a Series S, but we'll see how
Mhm.
that goes. I don't know if that's gonna work very well.
probably
Uh
1080-30.
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean better than playing it on a base 2013 Xbox One.
totally
Which
agree. It's
honestly
my Game Pass
might
box.
be how
So
I play it, you know, just out of spite again.
I
all
will say
right, so
one.
now
I
okay, go
was
ahead.
gonna say real quick with the like the Xbox and like Summer Games Fest, like you have these showcases that are an hour and a half plus, 2 hours long. It's
Mhm.
like that's a long showcase. I think that's why
Yeah.
for like things like Devolver, the State of Play,
Mhm.
hit me so well or fit so well for me just because the announcements came fast and hard and they
Yeah.
just whatever. Anyway, but like
Right.
it's just the pacing just went so well. You're not sitting
Mhm.
there for 2 hours and you get these lulls. Like the
See,
State
Yeah.
of Play.
I'd
Just
argue against that because Xbox was like game, 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 game. It was long, but it was like game, 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 game. like they had what people talking for like 30 seconds.
Right. Yeah. I'm just more talking about like they still had like the lulls of like some games that like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's
Yeah.
like a tight
That
30 to 40-minute showcase is better than a where you get to see more games for 2
yeah.
hours.
Yeah, let the games like speak for themselves instead. Like that Forza Motorsport segment where they're doing narration and it's like we're going around the track for 3 minutes. I'm like, that game's gorgeous, but I don't need this narrator.
Yeah,
The
I
narration
could just
on Redfall explaining some of the mechanics I'm fine with, but yeah, like
Mhm.
back and forth. There's just
yeah, just give me a
mm,
sizzle reel of how pretty it is in Forza, and I'm good with
exactly.
that.
Hmm.
I
But
remember
that's the
saying
thing.
on the React that I was like, "This is totally what the fans want." The fans of this genre are eating this up. Like, I
Oh yeah.
totally
Oh yeah.
understand
Yep.
that, and it's just one of those things where you, like Alec is saying, it's such a long showcase, and you have so much in there that you're playing the little bit for everyone game, and that's where you get
Hmm.
those lulls that I think Alec is talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah, which it's funny because Forza on one hand is they're doing the narration, the deep dive, and then the other side of Forza is like, hey, it's Hot Wheels. Here's this insane track, and they're just showing 30 seconds of
Yep.
footage. I'm like, I'm reinstalling this on my Xbox. This is fantastic. Like I'm so
Mhm.
excited for
Totally.
this.
Yeah. All right. So, is there any other showcases anyone specifically wants to talk about? I do think Summer Game Fest let me down a little bit. I was a little bummed with that overall, but that's
Yeah.
pretty much all. I don't want to say too much because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. I love Jeff Keighley. I love everything he's doing in the
Yeah.
gaming scene. It's just I don't know. I feel like coming off of last year, it kind of let me down. I was a bit bummed.
Yeah, with that, I was pretty excited. They didn't like just to see Modern Warfare 2 again, like I'm
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
heavily anticipating that.
There was a
Um
cool like gameplay showing like where like you're on that boat and you see all the
yeah,
whatever
The shipment
luggage or whatever.
containers.
Yeah, thank you.
because I really like 2019's Modern Warfare reboot, and I thought the
Mhm.
multiplayer was great. I thought the story was awesome. Uh,
Hmm.
Warzone initially was really great as well, and so them just doing that again, and it seems like they're like reimagining a lot of elements from the classic trilogy, and so
Right.
I'm excited to see like a lot of these familiar places and people in
Hmm.
different like spots and doing different things.
I
And just technically too, like it looks amazing. So I can't wait to play that.
I agree with that. I'm cautiously optimistic about that. Just because like I'm in the same boat. Like I love 2019 so much, and just like how realistic, like how they strive for realism. With that game in terms of like, there's no big action set pieces. Like you're mainly throughout the campaign, you're going through and breaching and clearing safe houses or compounds or like you're fighting at the international
Mhm.
embassy and you're trying to like get VIPs out of there and escort them to a safe house half a block away. And each truck that passes by, you don't know if it's a civilian truck or a truck full of soldiers that are ready to kill you. And then as soon as they showed the reveal trailer, it seemed like Call of Duty was back on its bullshit of like over the top, like Fast and Furious action set pieces. And I'm like, that's not what this new Modern Warfare universe is. Like, even if you look at the reveal trailer for Modern Warfare 2019 or any of that marketing, there's like nothing that speaks like action heavy, like, oh my god, this is a blockbuster movie versus like now they're like back on that and everyone's like hype, 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 hype and screaming about that, but it's like that's
Yeah.
not really what Modern Warfare necessarily is. But although that initial trailer um made me hesitant, I think the gameplay they showed in terms of going up on the oil rig and doing that clean and sweep through all the rooms,
Mhm.
that's kind of what brought me back to being a little bit more optimistic. Like, okay, they can still deliver like a good blend of action with the realism.
And it just
Yeah.
looks so damn good too.
Yeah.
I think the next step for me is just seeing what the new Warzone looks like because
Yeah.
Mhm.
one has a lot of issues. And so if they can get a good foundation for the new one,
Hmm.
I think it can be the battle royale to beat because
Yeah.
one is trash at a lot of different points of its development, but it's still like number one or two. So so
Right.
like maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know, but yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, I think we kind of round robin some titles now. I'm gonna do some shout outs and then I'm gonna talk about 3 titles.
Mhm.
How's
All
that?
right.
How's that sound?
Go
You
for it.
gonna
Yeah.
we cool with that? Okay.
Sounds good.
Shout out to Routine. It was one of the very many like horror first person games that was shown in Summer Game Fest, I believe. It's a first-person
Oh, through
sci-fi horror
robots,
set
yep.
in an abandoned lunar base designed around 80s vision of the future. It visually looks stunning. It was one of the few horror ones I was like, okay, I'm into that. That and Callisto
Mhm.
Protocol is another shout out. Callisto Protocol is not something I thought I would be into, and then I saw the trailer. I saw how gory it was. I saw basically current gen. I keep saying next gen, but current gen Dead Space. And one of the things
Yeah.
that I couldn't get in Dead Space before was like I couldn't put myself in those shoes because of the graphics of that time. But like I think here and Josh Duhamel, everyone's favorite
Yeah.
actors, and then but yeah, I don't know
Mhm.
that did it for me. So that's another shout out.
Mhm.
Eternites was like that
Yes.
fighting game or the
Persona.
like anime persona ish, but with a dating sim as well. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool. That's very unique.
Which
I'm into
did you
that.
hear the story behind that? This
No,
dude, I think he played, or I heard from Twitter, he played Persona 3, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal, and basically quit his job and decided to develop this game.
fuck yeah, I
That's
love
dope.
that. I wish I could do that. I'm stupid. Like
Apparently,
I
he
can't
learned.
do that.
Well, he just learned how to develop a game for this.
You
Dang,
could
I mean, I
just
guess he
buy
wasn't a game dev
assets from a
before.
store and throw a game together. It's really easy.
Yeah.
He's like,
Just
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
this is easy. Why don't you guys do it?
I just
PUBG.
bought
PUBG,
a
PUBG, man.
yeah. I just bought a game coding for dummies, and I read through it once, and here I am
Now
making
I'm
a
a
game.
millionaire because I make games. That's probably how that works, right? Another thing I
Yeah.
want to shout out is One Piece Odyssey. I'm a One Piece weeb. One Piece is the best form of media ever, and it's on episode 1000 and whatever bullshit. One Piece Odyssey
Mhm.
actually looks really fucking dope. If you're not into the anime, don't play this game. But it looks like a genuine, like blossoming. Like there's so much to it in an RPG. Like with this IP and actually putting care into it instead of just doing a little cash cow.
Is
With
that
the IP.
1,000 like episodes of a television show?
Yes,
I've
and
never
it's still
actually
Yeah.
going, and it's still going.
like
It's
20
like,
minutes, 30 minutes.
20 well, I mean, do you count ads? 24 minutes per episode, something like that, give or take.
God
Yeah,
damn, bro.
and it's not even its
Yeah.
last arc
Yeah.
yet.
How many of
The
those are
the
good?
the writer creator
What's
dude,
your
I fucking love
percentage?
that shit, dude. Just okay, here's what I say. If you're gonna watch it, this is a tangent. If you're gonna watch it, watch through the Arlong arc. It's called Arlong Park. I think it's like 50-ish episodes. So I'm not asking you to do too much. Just 50-ish
Only
episodes. That's
50
all I'm asking.
episodes.
It's
And
like
if
a
you're
whole
into
show.
it,
Yeah.
then you continue at your leisure. But 50-ish episodes compared to the 1,050 that it's literally at right now, give or take a few. Like
I'm good, man.
It's like
Fuck
it's
you,
like
dude.
you
it's
know what it
so
Yeah.
good, dude.
it's like a soap opera, right? Like those shows go on for like 70 years and like
Yeah.
How dare you?
grandpas and
How dare you?
grandmas and
Literally,
How
grandsons.
how dare you?
the show catches up with the manga, and then they make filler episodes while the dude writing the manga is writing the next volume of the manga,
He
and so
literally
it's
said
like,
that he's taking a break
They're
before he
almost
does
caught
the
up. It's like
before he does the final arc.
like
He's like,
Game of Thrones,
I
man.
need a second. I need a
Like Game
break.
of Thrones.
Anyway,
yeah, man.
I will shout out a cool indie game called American Arcadia. Like I got the Truman
Yeah.
Show vibes.
Yeah.
That looked really fucking cool.
Mhm.
Basically the Truman Show the game, but like more
Mhm.
Yep.
gamified. And I'm into that. And then The Last of Us Part 1. The Last of Us is I mean it sucks that it got spoiled. I mean that's very true. It probably would have made Summer Games Fest pop a little more. But
Yeah.
I
Thanks a
am one of the
lot,
very
Days
few
Gone.
people. What? What'd you say?
Days Gone, man. They caused it, bro.
How'd they? Oh, the leak?
Yeah, because
The
they
day-
wanted to.
I'm not following.
Sony banned somebody inside Sony
Yeah,
banned
man.
Wait, oh, I get it. I get
Way
it.
to go, Oregon.
Anyway, I'm one of the few people who didn't love the first game. I'm usually the gripes with it are like, oh, the combat's not really fun, the mechanics aren't great. Like I
Mhm.
agree with that, and still, even the only part I really enjoyed about that game was the relationship between Joel and Ellie and the choice at the end. Like that's
Yeah.
all I enjoyed. Like the gameplay itself didn't do it for me at all. I was just playing it because people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it, so I played it all in like a 2 sittings. So I was like, cool, great, good game.
Mhm.
But part 2
Yeah.
is like one of my favorites of all time. Like part 2, I think is like the epitome of video games in my view. I think it's the
Yep.
best video game ever made. I'm not saying it's my
Yeah.
favorite. I think it's the best, like technically and storytelling and everything works like they complement each other. So
Mhm.
having that lens on the first game, I'm all for. Like I get today's tech with the 2013 game. I'm in. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Okay. The Plucky Squire Have you guys seen
Yes.
the trailer for this
Dude, that
indie
looks
title?
amazing.
The Plucky Squire looks fucking dope. Josh, you're the only one that didn't pop. Have you not seen this trailer?
No.
I want you to watch this trailer right now because I
That
want to
was a
see your
game.
reaction to this trailer.
That was a
Mhm.
game where I saw like in some like compilation article or like maybe like I watched the trailer for like 15 seconds and I saw like the initial appeal and I was like, oh dope. And then somebody's like, dude, watch the whole trailer. And then it took
Uh-huh.
like another leap to
Yeah.
it. I was like, oh
It's
my
so cool,
gosh.
dude.
I was
It's
like,
like
yes.
like
Looks so
Indian in
cool.
the
I can't
Cupboard
wait.
meets Link's Awakening. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw like the Punch Out reference. Like it reminds me of Punch Out, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was like, dude, is this a punch out game? I'm like, oh, it's so much more.
yeah, it looks really, really cool. And I'm gonna wait. I'm forcing everyone to wait until Josh watches this trailer, and he's gonna react live, not live, but you get it.
It looks like Calvin and Hobbes.
Mm.
Sure.
The main character looks like it's the
Yeah.
same art style of Calvin and Hobbes.
Have you seen
Okay,
the
yeah,
turn
this
yet?
no.
Have you
Yeah.
Oh
seen the
well, I've seen the
moment?
pages turn.
Have you
Yeah,
seen the
just wait.
moment?
Just wait.
Have you?
He's like
Let me.
10 seconds
Turn the
away.
page.
Oh shit, he's fighting dudes. He's got an arrow.
Yeah, and then you get like a Super Mario Odyssey, like when he jumps
Yeah.
onto the
Whoa,
table.
he popped out the book.
Oh my god!
Damn.
This looks
Please tell me-
incredible, and this is their first game,
Please-
I think.
Please tell me this is coming more to just Switch. If this was on Game Pass, goddamn, I'm here for
Plunk
it.
down the cash, man. Why don't you support a small indie
well,
studio?
It's just I just want to have like I want to play this with like ray tracing and like
I know what you
I
mean,
wanna play
dude.
this with like bells and whistles,
Mhm.
not
It's not
Raiders
necessarily
and
like a
Jack from you.
graphics game, but it's just like the art. I want the art on this to just. I want it to
Pop.
shine.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening is a gorgeous game, and that's like
Totally.
720p. Like
That's the only
Oh,
Zelda
yeah.
game I've
Or
ever
60.
beaten. That remake. That's
like-
it.
that's-
That's the only one.
It's a good. I mean, they're all every Zelda game's a 10, but yeah, great
Oh,
game.
okay, cool. I didn't know that. It's weird. I mean, I did really like that game, so I don't want to talk too much about it because their company is currently shit. But Diablo 4, I think, looks amazing. I think that game looks fucking awesome. As someone who has not been into Diablo and then recently got into Diablo Immortal, which again is shit. There's something about the gameplay of Diablo, man, that is hitting me now, and I really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to Diablo 4 come 2023.
The shared world aspect really intrigues me because I've never played a
Yeah.
Diablo game. So, but I know with 3, there's a lot of social integration stuff to play with friends and just have like the economy and everything like that influence the game. Not like the real economy, like the game's economy. Yeah, this one with the shared world, I'm like, what is that? I'm so intrigued to see what that looks like because it just makes me think like if your buddy does some important mission and that influences like the state of like your shared server or progression or something like that. And I'm very excited to see what that looks like, especially if it comes out by the time Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard and it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
That would really, really be sweet.
That would be awesome. And then my game of the entire thing, I bet you no one can guess. It is
Hollow Knight, Song of the Silk,
Song
Spire,
of the
Never
Silk.
Come-
You got it. No, it's
never
the last
coming
case
out.
of Benedict Fox. Do you guys know what this title is?
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it was
okay.
at the
Yeah.
It was It was like a side-scrolling. It reminds me of like a side-scrolling Constantine game, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, this looks fucking dope. Let me click on the
Hit
Steam page.
2005 movie starring
Keanu. Take on the last case of Benedict
and
Fox.
somebody else.
Benedict Fox is also a really dope name, and dive into the twisted world of secret organizations, forbidden rituals, and cold-blooded murders. Explore the memories of deceased victims as you search for clues and fight demons in the fantastical Lovecraftian Metroidvania. Let's go, dude. That looks so fucking cool. I'm into
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
All right. I've said my piece. Take it away. I'll go Brett. I started with Josh last time, so we're going to go Brett.
Okay. Let me pull up the article here. Yeah, Naraka Blade Point. Very excited about that.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
battle royales, and so it's been on PC for a couple months, I
while.
think, something like that. I'm excited to check it out with Gino Viteri because he really wanted to play it with me too. And battle royales are just so fun, no matter which one I play. 90% of the time. And the aspect of like the hero uh like role where you pick specific like characters with traits, and then like the melee aspect too. Like in the trailer that they showed with the Xbox showcase, like those like typical like you know, Last Samurai, Ghost of Tsushima, like one-on-one duels. Like I think that's
Right.
super dope to add that intimate aspect to a massive battle royale, along with all the different like um cultures that they're kind of appreciating with the different classes and weapons and locations. So it's free to play as well. So I'm excited just to jump in and see if I vibe with it or not, and just see where it goes from there.
Totally. That game is not for me, but I've always looked at that game and been like, this game's just dripping in like style. Like I love how this game looks. It's like probably like one of the coolest games I've ever seen in the premise, and I'm into it.
Yeah, and then Pentiment, I'm very excited about that. I didn't
Really?
see a lot of people popping off about it, like in our React, and then just like on Twitter, I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. But Obsidian's making it. And obviously, they're a well versed RPG studio. The art style looks amazing, like the stained glass, like or like I made the comment, like it looks like the Shrek book in the beginning of Shrek One, like that art
Oh,
style. I don't know what that art style is like. But then like
Yeah.
the dynamic choice based system and how that like literally will affect how the game plays out for you and like different like set points, I think is very cool. And yeah, like fantasy medieval stuff is always my jam, and so excited to see that come out and then hopefully like buy with it. And it's on Game Pass as well, so that's like a easy download if you have
That's what I
Game
was gonna
Pass.
say. It feels like the epitome of a Game Pass title, and I
Yeah, it's a
think
smaller RPG, yeah.
yeah, and I think my initial reaction to that was like Obsidian. Yes, let's see what they're doing, and then it was this game, which I was just like, okay, like,
Dude,
and
what is Obsidian up to?
I'm not
They're
trying to
making like
knock.
20 games right now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
What's
knock what
going
they're
on?
doing. I would never say that, like a creative vision, all that. I'm all for that, but like I was just expecting something different, and I think that's
Yeah.
on me. That's on me. That's my fault. But yeah, it just kind of bummed me that that was the title they showed. I guess it didn't do it for me.
Um,
That's the title that can get out in 12 months.
yes.
Thanks, Xbox.
And then like you know, a small little thing I'm excited about is just Grounded coming out 1.0. I downloaded
Yeah.
it initially when it dropped last year. Last year? 2 years ago?
2020 maybe? I
Was it
think like
2020?
late
I think
2020, yeah.
it might have been 2020. And I played it, I was like, okay, early access. All right, I'm gonna
I
wait.
heard
So now that it's
yeah.
coming out 1.0, I'm excited to dive into it because the afternoon I played it at launch for early access, it was a lot of fun. And I really appreciated that. And then stuff like yeah, Cocoon, the game from the Inside
Yeah.
developer, like
That was another one where sorry, that was another one where I was like, "Oh." Like, I don't know, there's something
I
about
from
what
the pedigree,
that
just from the
I agree.
pedigree of the developers, like, literally Inside won, like, Game of the Year, I think, at, like, IGN or something whenever
Rightfully
Inside came
so.
out,
I love Limbo, I
like
love Inside. I'm stupid. I'm a stupid boy, okay? That's
and
a puzzle-ish game, there's aspects to that that I'm like, "I'm not gonna figure this out."
and not to criticize it, or criticize the studio, but this one seems a little bit more, like, expansive in terms of the scope of the game, uh,
Yeah.
not to slight Inside or Limbo at all, like, those games obviously are masterpieces, but yeah, I'm very excited to see what they do with, Cocoon, dope title, dope font, um, yeah,
Font approval.
yeah, and then, like, Ravenlock looks cool, stuff like that. Persona, I'm very excited to play.
yeah,
I'm
you
kind
are.
of I know they're not, like I know it's like
I'm
an
ex
anthology
I'm excited
series.
to not finish that series, alright.
I know it's like an
It's
anthology series, so it's not like you have to play 3 to play 4 to play 5, but I
correct.
just wanted to play, like, them in order, but it looks like 5's coming out, and then I'm assuming 4 is gonna come out, and then I'm assuming 3 is gonna come out.
I think
Because you're
3 and 4 are
assuming
coming out
that
at the same time.
I was gonna say
Are
because
they?
you're assuming that it's gonna be 5, 3, 4. Why? I don't
Dude, because Atlas is so weird, like, they just, for some reason, kept their games only on PlayStation for the longest time, and so
Mhm.
the fact that 4 and 3 and 5 are coming to Xbox, like,
And
3
Switch, did you see that? It's
yeah,
also
Switch
coming to
Switch as
Switch.
well, and they're
Wait,
coming to
that was
PlayStation
announced? I
as
thought it was
well.
just PlayStation.
It wasn't announced, it was like a tweet
Yeah,
made that like, "Hey, by the way, they're also coming to Switch."
yeah, because
Oh, I
like,
didn't see that. That's awesome.
you literally, like, the history with these games, like, Persona 4 Golden was stuck on the Vita and PS2 for the longest time. It came to
Mhm.
Steam in a shadow drop, like, on a March,
That was like
like,
a PC gaming
weekday.
showcase a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, Persona 3 Portable has been on the PSP and PS2, So that game
Mm.
is really coming out from the depths, and that's going to be on all the platforms for everybody to play. And then Royal obviously has been on PlayStation, but that's coming to Switch. Is that coming? Is Persona 5 coming to Switch?
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
Royal though. Don't quote me on if it's Royal. I don't
I
know
think
about that.
it's Royal
I
in
would
the
assume
announcement.
so.
But yeah, Royal coming to everything as well. That's obviously hype as well because
The
it's
only
been
way I'm ever gonna even like, there's a 10% chance I finish it now. It's not
So-
high, but
I will say something I did hear is that Persona 5 Royal is the one that's just insanely long.
Hmm.
Persona
Yeah.
4 and 3 are they're still like longer games. They're not over 100 hours long. They're more like
Yeah.
50 to 70, like somewhere in that range.
I want to go
like
back and I might just wait for it to come to Xbox because when an Royal came to PlayStation, I played it for like 35 hours and I was like still in
Mhm.
the first chapter, like fighting the gym teacher or whatever. Like that was something I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit! Like this
It's-
is like a long con game. Like I really gotta like
And that
set a whole year to play this game. Like
Yeah.
it was good. I loved what I played, but it was like
mhm.
that everything?
yeah, Legends looks cool. I think it like the Minecraft vibe always looks very fun. I like Dungeons. Dungeons for me was a perfect Game Pass game,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so when
Agreed.
that came out, I played it for a weekend, beat it, and I was like, hey, that's fun. All right, see you later.
Thanks, Game Pass.
Flintlock looks cool. Like that's another game that like, a lot of like cool,
Yeah.
like a lot of like cool announcements. That's what I was saying. Like there was like 40 announcements, and uh very few of them hit the same level of like the PlayStation showcase with like Resident Evil 4 remake and things like that. But a lot of like, oh, this is cool, and especially you add on the
Mm.
Game Pass factor. Like, I
Totally.
just think it's like a win. Ara looks very cool. I don't play like those sim games too often, but when I do, I really get into them. And it's been a few years since I played one, so I'm excited to see what that one looks like with like the alt history and crazy stuff like that. Overwatch
Seems like
2.
a weird market to try to get into. Like Civ just has that so locked down that I was
Yeah.
like, oof,
Mhm.
I don't know if I would be brave enough
Then
to
you have
try that.
Humankind, I think, is the other one that's trying to come
Yeah,
out.
that's Sega though, so that's like a bigger publisher behind them. But Ara is coming to Game Pass, so that's easily going to get so many
Oh,
people
yeah,
in to try it
for
out.
sure.
Again, strength
Not
of the game,
me.
strength of Game Pass.
I do like Civ. Like I've played Civ. I just think with Civilization, I play it like once or twice. And I'm like, that's Civ. Like
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yep.
understand what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Overwatch 2, I am excited about. Like when Overwatch
Totally.
1 came out, that was like the only game I played for like a year. Like I got hard into it. A lot
That
of
and
the
Rocket
changes.
League. That and Rocket
Yeah.
League were all I played for a while.
Same, dude, same. 2016, 2017, you and me
Let's
were probably
go.
just like playing each other or something.
You probably did. Who
But
knows?
yeah, but Overwatch 2, like it seems like all the meta changes are doing to the game in terms of balancing it seems awesome. I saw the other day they're changing how ranked works because ranked was so infuriating with your SR rank, and so you would be like at 1565, you would like win a game, and then you would go up like 10 points, and then you would lose a game against a full stack that like or that knows what they're doing, and then you drop like 80 points, and you're like,
Whew.
what the hell is going on?
Cool.
Like the rank was designed to get you frustrated, and that's why I stopped playing. I was like, okay, like I can't play this anymore. I have to take a break. But they're adding like the Valorant type ranks to it, and so I'm very excited to like get back into that with console and
Totally.
crossplay and everything like that. So yeah,
All right,
Plague
Brett.
Requiem. Yeah,
I'm cutting you off.
I'm listening to them all because they all excited me to like certain extents. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Alec, what do you think? What titles shined for you?
For me, one of my like the ones that like
Besides
really
Persona.
stood out to me. I mean, of course, just it's coming to Game Pass. You have no excuse now. Anyway,
And he let us know too.
oh yeah. So the first one I want to shout out is an indie game that was at the my brain just blanked on it.
Gone. Houdini.
The Wholesome Direct. It was Shim, the one where you're the little frog monster thing and you're jumping from shadow to shadow. And
Right.
the levels are just like just a pastel kind of color palette, and you're just jumping from shadow to shadow, and just had nice little cozy vibes, wholesome vibes, and you seemed like a really cool game. So can't
Need
wait to
those
check
titles.
that one out. Exactly, yeah. And then kind of one that's at the exact opposite end of the spectrum and I know if Chris was here, he'd rally behind this one as well. Metal Hellsinger.
Oh,
Let me tell you guys, it's one of those games that you might not think you'd be into it, but man, when you get into that flow state, there's nothing like it. And like towards in the demo, there's a part where you get like the dual pistols, and let me tell you, like that, you just get in that rhythm, and it is just magic. So I cannot wait for this game. It's shot up to one of my most anticipated games this year.
wow. High praise.
Yeah, everybody that I see play it from like different, like people who like, oh, they play these type of games. Oh, like everybody, like so many people from all these different like demographics, like have been playing it, and I've been seeing them on Twitter and Twitch and stuff, like just vibing with it hard. So yeah, it looks like the game to watch.
Yeah, another one actually just launched yesterday, Neon White, of course. Like that game, oh, can't wait to play that after after I'm done editing this episode.
What else launched the same day as that game?
Oh, nothing else.
Oh, okay.
No.
Shredder's Revenge came out, and that game fucking rocks. Okay, it's exactly everything
need
I
to play
wanted
it
it to
so
be.
bad,
and
dude.
it's great.
I have
love
it
so
downloaded.
much.
Don't worry. I'll play that again, or also this weekend, along with the
Hell yeah.
Quarry. But,
Hell yeah, it's fun as hell.
Anyway, I'll say kind of a surprise was Stray coming to PlayStation Plus, or launching on PlayStation Plus for if you have
that was
extra
a
or
nice-
premium.
Nice pleasant thing there.
So
Yeah, that was in my shout out list. I had talked
Yeah.
to friend of the show Gino Viteri, and I was like, he's like, what are some of your predictions? And I'm like, Stray release date day one on PlayStation Plus, because when they announced their list of games that were coming to PS Plus, Artful Escape was there, and Annapurna actually like quote tweeted it, and they're like, hey, we're like excited to work with PlayStation on bringing like lots of titles to PlayStation Plus, and so seeing that like day one
There's a
as another shout out for me. But
there's a wink
Mhm.
wink.
yeah.
yeah, just a couple more. I want to give just again Devolver Digital, a couple of their games from the showcase. Cult of the Lamb. That game just looks so cool. Like we we're talking about in our Discord chat that it's just a lot of us are so into that, but it's just like it's one of those games that a lot like Moonlighter. It just matches two very different styles of games together. So where you have
Mhm.
your like roguelike action game, but then you also have your like village management sim. And it's like two
Love
vastly different genres
Mhm.
in one game, which is really cool.
Mhm.
And then I didn't know this, but you can like once you like get one of those followers like in your cult, you can like customize them, you can rename them. Like, oh, that's really
What?
cool.
That's awesome.
Angerfoot just looks first person Hotline Miami, and I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Looks awesome.
And then so just a lot of it was a lot of cool AAA announcements, but I also don't forget the indie games. They
Absolutely.
made up a majority of what was announced and had some banger games.
My game in the show is an indie, and for good reason. The indie showed out, AAA showed out. It was a good showing of
Mhm.
quality games as a whole, for sure.
And we still
Got
haven't even gotten Nintendo yet, too. Like, they had,
Have they confirmed that there's going to be a direct?
Nope.
It's just a rumor, right? Like later this
Yeah.
month. Yeah. Okay. There's also the Annapurna thing later this month. Is that right? Does anyone know about that? On the 28th,
No,
maybe.
I don't know.
Cool. Josh, your standout
Uh,
games.
Yeah, Stray on PlayStation Plus, one of mine for sure. Hideo working on Xbox, incredible. And then Last of Us remake. It's a shame, it got leaked beforehand, and then everyone has to quote tweet it and give their opinions of that. Like they're still gonna buy it regardless, complaining the last since April
Mhm.
2021. Thanks, Chris. But you're still spreading the leak, so thanks all you guys. But also just that factions thing, like I don't want to overlook that, like showing that piece of artwork, and like you can pick apart like the fact that they're in San Francisco. There's a cloud of spores coming in behind them, which gives me like battle royale
He studied this. He
survives.
studied this photograph.
Dude, everybody studied this one photograph. Like Last of Us fans eating off of one piece of concept art, and the fact that they're like, yeah, it just got out of hand. Like I love the first game's multiplayer so much, and the fact that they're like, yeah, this it kind of just got out of hand, and there's like story elements in it now, as well as multiplayer elements. Like I'm so excited for factions, and I'm like hopefully showcase like the next showcase or state of play further down the line. We definitely get to see more.
I'll say
but,
one
like,
quick thing on that. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like that story that came out was a year or two ago that they hired like an
Mhm.
actual like economist to like build an economy for this game. Like
Yeah, yeah. In which like
crazy.
the factions multiplayer has like a bit of an economy in terms of like you just need to go and win your games to like have enough supplies to keep your group going on this
Mhm.
like 12-week journey, and just the potential of having that blown up to this like massive extent within the Last of Us universe is super exciting to me, and is like the multiplayer game front. It's what I'm like my most anticipated multiplayer game. Redfall, like seeing the CG trailer last year was pretty cool, but like actually getting like hands-on gameplay, and it looks like it gives off that Left 4 Dead Back for Blood kind of vibe, but with like vampires and distinct classes and the gun gameplay that you know and love from fuck, what is it? They're under Bethesda, but they're
Arcane.
Arcane. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, Dishonored and
that was a
Prey.
standout. Yeah, exactly. Deathloop, like just having all that like within Redfall, as well as like the aesthetic, was just absolutely incredible. And then
I don't.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
I don't remember who said it, but the Left 4 Dead vibe. Someone said like it's nice to see this vibe with anything but zombies.
Yes.
I think it might have
Yeah.
been you or Chris or someone, but I was like, you know what? That's so
Mhm.
true. Like just seeing that is that literally that aesthetic that Left 4 Dead, but you're just not getting hordes of enemies like that you're so used to and just mowing down. Like it's more strategic and
It's
I don't
more
know.
like
Yeah.
I'm
one
into it.
big bad rather than
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
bunch of
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just a bunch of like mindless like zombies. Yeah. Just
Mhm.
like you said, like focusing on like one more enemy at a time with like all the special abilities is incredible. And then yeah, my standout like game of the show is RE4 remake.
Hell yeah.
Naturally,
Mhm.
just because like we've heard there's just been whispers for the longest time. I think it was in that Nvidia leak,
Right.
and we've known that they've been working on it like Capcom. I think a week after RE3, they're like, "Hey, what do you want to see next?" And is it Code Veronica or 4? And of course, 4 is like one of the most beloved games. And then just getting that announcement and then seeing a little bit more at like the Capcom showcase. Like I hope they play their cards close to their chest. I've been replaying it on my Xbox, and it's just so cool going through the OG one and just being like, all right, I can't wait 9 months to see what this is gonna look like reimagined in 4K with all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. And I like that they're turning it into a full blown horror game, because the OG one is not a horror game whatsoever, and there are a lot of people that are about to experience this for the first time and just get scared, like scared shitless, and myself included. Like I'm so excited for that.
I'm in that boat too because like I've spoken on content before that I don't like the camera in Resident Evil games. Like I don't like the over the shoulder cam. There's just something about it with my brain that it throws me off. But
Hmm.
I've only heard literal like praise 10 out of 10 about Resident Evil 4. There's something
Yeah.
about Resident
Mhm.
Evil 4 that people will not shut up about. So you know what? I'm gonna give it a go. I tried most Resident Evil games and I give up after a few hours because like I
Hmm.
again there's just something about that camera. But I'm gonna try to push through on this one and we'll see how it goes.
It's something I think with a lot of like games from like the PS2 era, in
Sure.
which like those old tank controls, you have to like power through it for like 5 hours, and you have to like you're gonna fuck up because you're gonna like input some modern controls, and you're just gonna have to take it on the chin. But as soon as like you can get the rhythm and the flow down of what is like to play a game back then, like you're set. And
Sure.
yeah, like starting up
I'm
a new
also
RE4.
I'm also a bitch, so I'll be playing on easy. Whatever the easiest mode is, that's what I'm doing.
Honestly, the like assisted mode or whatever they call it, like honestly, no shame, no shame in that. Like RE games can like definitely kick the shit out of you in terms of like
Sure.
resources and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't think they'll do the adaptive difficulty like 4 has, but yeah, I'd love to see him implement a tank control system into this game just so you could play it like the OG one, because the OG one, like, it's more of a puzzle game. Like
No,
you
no
see,
tofu.
dude, if they do tofu, I'm all here for that. But yeah, the OG is like a combat, like it's more just tense, you know.
Sure.
Like you
Mhm.
see like 6 enemies and you like pause the game, see what you have in your like
You have
case,
6
and
bullets.
yeah, exactly, and how you're gonna like deal with it, and then proceed from there. But yeah, God, I can't wait to see more of
That's when I
R4
reload
games.
my saves. I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah, yeah.
Headshot, miss. Well,
Hmm.
that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. One
Go ahead.
last shout out I forgot to mention: Street Fighter 6. I'm not the biggest
Yeah.
fighting game fan, but man, that trailer from the State of Play really sold me on this game. Like it
It just
just
it delivered the vibe, and I was into it.
exactly. And plus with this whole like modern control scheme that's basically like Smash Bros controls, I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
okay, you have my attention.
Yeah.
I was like, I suck at that game too.
Mhm.
Woo! I'm just
Yeah.
bad at games universally. All right.
Mhm. Yeah, they finally put the street in Street Fighter, like with the graffiti and the actual like walking
Yeah.
around and stuff like that. Like
They
it's
changed the logo too, and that's
yeah.
probably for the best.
But
I
yeah,
will
I'm right there
say
with you.
that um, I will keep saying I want something new from Fallout, and I don't mean 5. I don't mean like the next installment. I mean like a remake of 1 and 2, a remaster of 3 or New Vegas, or a remake of one of those titles. And they didn't do it. And they gave me the
We'll
fucking
never
pit
get it.
again. They gave me the pit again. These son of a
Because it's not out
bitches.
yet.
Well,
Why isn't it
yeah,
out?
yeah.
COVID.
Damn it.
Boom.
We'll never get it, man.
Sure. But yeah, I had to say something about it. Bethesda.
Mm.
Okay, here's my theory. I'm gonna go 1 minute theory. Fallout 5. They Todd Howard brought up the fact that Fallout 5 is the next title after Elder Scrolls 6 in an interview. It might have been an IGN interview. I don't remember what it was. But that means it's like 10 years away. Okay. Here's the thing. You cannot have that big of a gap with just 76. 76 cannot carry that weight of that franchise for that long.
Correct.
So I think a few years after 76 fades, which it already has, but you know what I mean. Like I mean, it really sizzles down. I
Mhm.
think we're gonna get the announcement of a remaster or a remake of one of those games that I mentioned. It's gonna be 1 and 2 as like a bundle, or it's gonna be 3 or 2 in New Vegas. My money's on New Vegas. I think in order of like most likely, it would be New Vegas 1 and 2 or 3. I want 3, but it's like the least likely to happen.
I don't think they're gonna do New Vegas because Bethesda hates New Vegas and they hate that it's
Yeah.
the best
Here's the
one.
thing. They have Obsidian under the same roof. I know Obsidian's already working on like 40 fucking video games. Why not give them one more? It's
There
fine. Who
wa-
gives a shit?
There was just that article that came out about how Phil Spencer approaches all of the acquisitions and that they leave them hands off. So since they're hands off and Bethesda owns Fallout, they're definitely not
There's
gonna.
some rumors floating around that they're looking to get the team back together for some people, and they don't
I'm
know. They didn't announce for what title, but it had to do with Obsidian, Bethesda, and another studio. And I was like, "Shut up!
if
Don't
if
do this to
Av- if Avowed gets rebooted or loses its director one more time, it's New Vegas 2.
me."
Like
Just
that game is
scrap the
going
whole
through
thing.
development
Fuck
hell.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you. Like, in terms of like when I hear Bethesda, I think more of their like third party stuff now. Like Doom, because like that main team's kind of been lacking. And like, yeah, Fallout is the only IP that I really give a shit out of the core Bethesda 3 now. Um, but like Elder Scrolls has like Skyrim, in which they've released that game like 12 times, and Fallout just doesn't have that really.
Right.
Like like Fallout 3 has, like, we're not on the 5th iteration of Fallout 3 or New Vegas, so I don't know if we'd get that. I think they're just gonna leave Fallout fans like
Fallout
high and
4
dry until
remastered.
I could even see them doing that.
Fuck.
Fallout 4 director's cut,
I
like
swear to God, because there was
here it is.
also there was a leak a few years ago that they were gonna do like a weird thing with Fallout 3 New Vegas with VR. And I was like, God damn it. Like, just
I could
stop
see them
doing
doing
these things
that.
I
Yeah,
don't want. Just
they'll
stop.
do VR and Quest 2 or
Coming to
PSVR
Stadia.
and Quest 2. Yeah, and like
There
you'll
you
get
go.
them.
Yep.
Could be
Yeah,
a
you'll
Stadia
get them.
exclusive.
there with like PS5 and Series X versions, but yeah, I
And
don't
you'd
know.
get
Plus,
Stadia
like,
just for that.
I would
Yeah.
try. It wouldn't fucking work, but I'd spend
I
the
love
60 or 190, whatever the fuck it is.
I love that interview because also some people were like, "Well, what happens if we really love Starfield? We're gonna have to wait 20 years for Starfield 2." It's like, motherfucker, you have 1,000 planets to explore. You take your time, baby. You have so much to just eat. Like, if it takes 20 years, you got a full plate with Starfield 1. Like, just
That game's
like
gonna be out for like 2 days, and there's gonna be someone who's like, "There's nothing here. This game sucks. I've seen it all.
It's empty.
There's nothing here, man."
It's New Atlantis and nothing else.
There's a bunch of freaking Goldilocks planets, but they're boring. I don't
Mhm.
know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
Games are cool.
Video games are cool. Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. And then Brett reveals his new tattoo that says video games are cool on his chest, let me tell you. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. That has been our recap of our not E3 nonsense. We all had some shout outs of our favorite titles. The showcases were okay, but as a whole, we think they showed a lot of bangers. So we are happy with that. Comment down below what your favorite game of Summer of Gaming was, and make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and if you like what you saw. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.